follow what my wife told me. So we have to be here. That's not even joking. We'll get it done and answer all your questions, yeah? So please, at any moment, feel free to raise your hand and I'll repeat myself or I'll try to clarify myself. The purpose of today is for us to kind of talk about the transfer process from high school to college, right, from Fullerton College, and the transfer process from Fullerton College to a four-year school. We won't talk about certificates very briefly because there's way more detail when it comes to certificates than there is to transferring. We will talk about a promise program where your child or you students will get 2 years free at Fullerton College. We will talk about a program at Calton Fullerton called the Cross Enrollment, that if you are a Fullerton College student, you take one class at Cal State Fullerton or any UC or any Cal State for $25 a class, not a unit a class. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk more about, if we have time, we'll talk about academic advice as much as we can. The reason we keep asking you what high school you're from is because the flyer that you have in front of you, the steps are the same, but the person to contact is tailored to the person that goes to your school. So that's what we keep asking you. One of the things that I do is I run the high school outreach office at Fullerton College, and so we also send staff to different high schools. We run the dual enrollment program. We have 150 sections that are being offered at a local high school. So if we have children that are still in high school, even after this year, I can maybe talk about that a little too. Like the plan, we have enough for now, I think. Cool. All right. But before we do that, just make sure that we're all on the same knowledge level, right? Of understanding how community colleges work. I was born and raised in Guatemala. I went to a Catholic military school down there, and that's why I'm always done with that experience. We don't have community colleges in Guatemala. We have them here. So there's a lot of people, even people that were born here, who do not understand how community colleges work. So let's talk about, let's do this for a few minutes. And we'll use the high school model, right? Freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. 4 years, we graduate. As you know, I don't need to talk down to you, but I just want to make sure we're all at the same level. We have the same levels in college, right? Freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. However, it's not based on time, right? It's based on requirements. And one of the most common questions that I get from parents is, well, since you go to a community college and you do your first 2 levels, and then you transfer as a junior, does that mean that you're at a community college 2 years? That's not as common as it used to be, not no more. Is it possible to transfer in 2 years? Yes. But that means you, the student, or your children, have to start taking classes this summer. And you have to do 15 units per semester in order to be out of there in 2 years. It is possible to transfer in 2 years. It's not as common as it used to be, for many reasons, right? And then as you guys all know, right, the goal is to transfer as a junior and then pick up down there and hopefully do 2.5 years, 2 years to 2.5 years at the university, right? And if we have time to talk about the units concept. It takes 60 units to transfer, right? 60 units to transfer. Every class is worth around 3 units. You do the math. We're talking about 20 classes, 4 classes per semester. We're talking about 5 semesters. But that's assuming, right? Assuming that your kid is eligible for everything right away off the bat, right off the bat. Even though we don't have a placement test no more, some of us, I went to Fullerton College, some of us took a placement test. We don't have a placement test at community college no more. It's gone. Everybody goes directly to college level math and college level English. So that makes it more likely that your child could transfer in 2 years, but it also becomes more challenging to do that. So, we have been talking about transferring, right? There's 116 community colleges. I'm not going to say Fullerton College is the best because we're not, right? Community colleges are like McDonald's. We're all the same. So the question becomes, which community college is best for your kid? That's basically the question it comes down to, right? which is closest to your house, which is closest to work, which one may specialize a little in something your child wants to do, and that's more common when it comes to vocational programs. Because we all do transfer in the same way. My wife teaches at Santa Ana College. She's been down there 28 years too. And they specialize in nursing. We don't have nursing at Fullerton College. So if you're a person that wants to go into nursing, don't come to us. Go to Fullerton College. Go to Santa Ana College. But if you want to specialize in theater, in areas of theater, we have some of the best theater programs around in California, in the area of community colleges. So when it comes to transferring, we're all McDonald's. Right? Taco San does a better analogy. When it comes to vocational certificates, we are different. You have to find the community college that offers the certificate you're interested in. Because we don't offer all of them. We specialize in some. Santa Ana College, nursing, Cypress. Dental hygienist, Cypress College has one of the best programs in California. Automotive, we are one of the best in the nation. So in the nation, in California. So find a vocational program that does meet your child's or your needs, but transferring, we're all the same when it comes to transferring. Don't think that one community college is better than another. We all do it the same when it comes to transferring. All right, let's talk about the Promise Program. And if we have time, we'll go back to this. I just want to spend time in the Promise Program because this is the meat of the presentation, right? The Promise Program was created a couple years ago, and everybody copied everybody. At Fullerton College, this is how we do it, right? All right. A Promise Program is the community college pays for your kids 1 or 2 years of college at a community college. We at Fullerton College, we do 2 years. Believe it or not, we're one of the I think maybe 32% of all community colleges pay 2 years. They all pay 1, but very few pay 2. We're one of the few community colleges in Orange County that is open to all students. At Santa Ana, you need to have been a student from the Santa Ana School District to qualify for the Promise Program. For us, any high school, any area, 2 years free. So the benefit of the Promise is that you get 2 years free. So let's break that down a little more. So you get 2 years free. You get a savings of approximately $2,000. 2 years free. It only covers semester work. It doesn't cover summer school or intersession, or they call winter break, right? You know, from the time between New Year's and probably the end of January, when we also offer classes, we don't cover those. We also do not cover summer school. If your kid wants to start summer school this coming summer, that'll be on you. But we'll cover the whole academic year. The semester, not the year, because that was the summer. The semesters. I'll go back to that in a few minutes. We also cover the health fee. Every community college in the state of California has a health fee. We actually have a little health center at Fullerton College that we meet your basic needs. Medicine for flu, we offer shots. No internal medicine, but we offer basic needs. I really don't know what that means. That's what I mean. In addition to that, if you are part of the Promise Program, you get priority registration, which means you go after all protected populations. And the protected populations are people who have served, people who are eligible for DSS, which is your IP plans. That's what you call it, IP? The IPs, right? IPs, people that have IP plans. We call it DSS. At Fullerton College. There's other protected populations. But when it comes to non-protected populations, Promise students go first. That means that you will be guaranteed the class you want, or the professor you want, at the time you want. For those of you, yes?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your first part. You said that if register?
First.
First?
They
then
don't
you
be the
said
first group.
Then you said after so-and-so they go first? Or?
After the protected populations. So you will not be the first students, you'll be the first population of non-protected populations that include people who've been in the armed services.
Okay, they go first.
They go
and then-
first.
Okay,
There's
got
like
it.
3 or 4 protected, not the protected populations.
Got
And
it.
then when it comes to traditional students, promised students go first,
Okay.
which is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. Got it.
Cool. We also have support services. We have counseling services, we have coaching services, we have mentoring services that are dedicated just for promised students. In addition to that, promised students have access to laptops, they have access to Wi-Fi, if you people over Wi-Fi services. So we offer students a lot. And obviously the meat of it is the free tuition, right? The free tuition. If you qualify for financial aid, some of you guys may know when it comes to the Cal Grant, you're limited to the number of years that you can utilize it. Well, if you qualify for the Promise program, you don't have to utilize it in your first 2 years. And you can extend it when you get to the 4-year school, if you need to. So those are some of the benefits that you have from the Promise program. Yeah, questions about the benefits of the Promise program? I do want to talk about the 2 years. And I will wait. In order to be considered for this, those are the benefits, right? To become eligible, you need to be a first-time college student. Which means that if you decide to go to Cal State Fullerton and it doesn't work out, and you come back to Fullerton College, you're no longer a first-time college student. If you went to college at one point and you sat out a year or 2, you're no longer a first-time college student. So Fullerton College needs to be the first college you ever stepped on. First time college student. You need to have graduated from a school, a high school in California, or have an equivalent to that. You have or some people take a test, or actually you got your diploma, right? Let me go back to the first time college student. Some of you may have taken dual enrollment classes. Anybody taking a college class right now when you're in high school? That's good, right? Dual enrollment is great. Taking college classes while you're in high school, and they are free. And the high school district pays for the books. It's awesome. If you have younger kids, put them in that early. That doesn't count against you. Because you're still considered a high school student who's taking college classes, but you're not a college student. So if you're taking dual enrollment classes, that does not count against you. Okay? So what happens if you graduate from high school and you want to take a semester off? Or you're a parent who has never gone to college at all, never. You become eligible for the Promise program whenever you step into our campus. I was doing a presentation last time and one of the students was going to go on the religious service for a semester. And then he was going to come back and he asked me, if I take a semester off and I come back, can I still be eligible for the Promise program? Yeah. The answer is yes. Because you have not enrolled at any other college. So the answer is yes. And from the moment you start, that's when your 2 years begin. So you can start in the fall semester, or you can start in the spring semester. That's when 2 years begin. However, if you stop, you're done. It's not a you can pick up. It needs to be continuous enrollment. So please keep that in mind, yeah. Continuous enrollment for 2 years. In addition to that, let me see. You need to be enrolled in 12 units every semester. Every semester you need to take 12 units that have been approved by a counselor. 12 units. With an exception that you can barely see now that I look at it. If your DSS counselor or your IP plan, for lack of better words, we use that analogy, but we call it DSS. If your DSS counselor says that you're okay taking 9 units, we would accept that. But you still only have 2 years. The number of units that are approved by your counselor does not overwrite the amount of time. You still only have 2 years free. And if you only take 9 units or less, I know a student, I work with a student that's only taking 6 units per semester. That's all the number of units that student can handle per semester. That means that he it's going to take more than 2 years to transfer, right? And they're okay with that. They just take advantage of 2 years. Yeah? Questions? Yes, ma'am.
So when you say continual, I assume that that would be like fall semester,
Spring.
or spring, whatever you call it, like 2 semesters?
And then fall again, and then spring. But remember, it doesn't stop your child from going to summer school. The paper that we gave you, the number one step is to apply, right? Obviously. My recommendation is that you apply for summer school. If you're thinking, if there's a small possibility that your child, when you're the students, are thinking about summer school, apply for summer school. Those, if you have already applied and you selected fall, go back and change it to summer school. And if you go to summer school, great, you're set up. What happens if you decide not to go to summer school? Nothing happens. It automatically rolls over to fall. So in other words, you cannot go wrong by selecting summer school. Right? It just gives you that option if you want to take it. Yes? Yes, actually this past year was the first year that we offer it in English. Yeah. It's usually 4 weeks every day. Yeah. 4 weeks every day for like 3 hours a day. Yeah. Question so far?
What are like the basic dates for like what's fall, is it 20 weeks? How was our quarter system? So I
16 weeks. A semester is considered 16 weeks. And obviously, most traditional classes are all 16 weeks, but we also have something that is getting more popular, which is 8 weeks courses. And those are obviously only 8 weeks, but be for longer amounts of time per meeting. Yeah. I think I'm very popular. Very popular. And sometimes it allows you to go faster, right? If you can do classes in 8 weeks. Questions? Yes.
So my daughter already registered. She's still in high school. Would that be a problem?
So she's already in high school, registered for college?
Yeah, she got a student ID from.
For Fullerton College?
Yes.
Yeah, fine.
It doesn't matter.
But if she wants to go to summer school, right? All you have to do is go back and change the term, which is the first question they ask you, right? From fall to summer, in case she didn't select summer, and she went to summer.
Okay. And before this, I didn't hear correctly. Are you recommending students to start from the summer school? Or?
Well, I brought up summer school in this context, in that if you want your child to graduate in 2 years, they have to go to summer school. They have to. There's just no way around that. Yeah. Yeah.
2년 안에.
But I'm not saying that you have to. Because no, I would hate to walk out of here, but that guy with the accent said I had to.
2년 만에 졸업하는 애가
We'll go here and we'll come here.
서머 스쿨들도
I'm
다
going
하고.
to get my general ed done at community college, and then I'm going to transfer the credits over to a Cal State. How would I do that?
Well, I'm going to answer your question. If you give me 5 minutes, because I have that in like 3 slides down. But I'm not ignoring your question. Just give me 3 minutes. I actually want to show you a slide that will help me answer your question.
My question is, so if they go to summer school, let's just say they go to summer school to take the, I don't know, the counseling class,
Something.
whatever, will the 2 years of the free tuition start, or no, because you said it doesn't count for summer school?
The latter, which is if you go to summer school, your 2 years don't start at that point. You know what? I should be doing a better job of repeating the question so everybody can hear it. So I apologize for that.
I just want to make sure. 'Cause
Yeah, so if you go to summer school, it doesn't count. And well, it doesn't, your
So-
2 years don't start at that point. It starts in the
So
regular
let's-
semester.
Let's say they start summer school this summer, then they go to fall and all that, and then they go again to summer school. That
Summer
would be
school does not
considered
count for
1 year
2 years.
and still,
Yeah.
okay. I
Yes,
just
ma'am.
want to make sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Probably, yes. Right in front of you. I'm making sure that I'm think I talked about everything, right? I believe. Okay, so we talked, let me put it back. Yeah. So we talked about the benefits. We talked about the criteria to get in. Now let's talk about how to stay in once you start. And this is very simple. This is your basic requirements. They're actually even below your basic requirements. First requirement, take math and English your first year. It should actually be your first semester, right? You should take math your first semester. Don't wait, okay? Because you'd be surprised how many people forget certain things and they don't do well the longer they go without taking math. But it's the first year, English and math. You have to maintain a 2.0 GPA. And we know that if you want to transfer to a 4-year school, a 2.0 is not going to get you in anywhere. And I'm talking about nowhere. When I was a student at Fullerton College, a 2.0 used to get you into Cal Fullerton. Those days are over. Yeah, those days are over. You want to have close to a 3, right? And it's higher to increase your options. In addition to that, you need to finish 67% of your classes, which is, if you take 4, you need to finish 3, successfully complete 3 out of the 4 classes. Successfully completing a class is C or better, right? So you need to finish 3 out of the 4. If you take 5 classes, we're talking about actually finishing 4 out of the 5. That was still 67% of that. And they have a couple of activities throughout the semester. They have a check-in that they want you to, they want you, to find a better word, right? And they want you to come in and talk to a counselor. We want you to come in and see a counselor. Just make sure they want you to come in during the financial aid period. They want you to go to a couple of social events per year. So it's not a big requirement. All right. Anybody not know what a W is? A W means you withdrew from the class, right? You withdrew. So you have up to a Fullerton College, and there's some schools that are a little different, but community colleges tend to be the same. Up to 80% of that class. 80% of that class normally is the 14th week for a full semester class. You have until the 14th week to drop that class. And if you drop that class at or before the 14th week, you get a W. A W does not affect your GPA. However, at a community college and most institutions, we have something called progress probation or progress dismissal, which means that you can have a 4.0 and still be dismissed out of the college if you drop too many classes, 50% of them or more. So we all have W's in our background. Most people have W's in our transcript. I was a little nerd. I didn't drop anything. But you have up to the 14th week. If you stay beyond the 14th week, they'll give you a letter grade, A to F, right? And there's another grade called I, that stands for incomplete, but I don't want to bore you with that right now. Just remember that if you did not finish the class and the class has passed the 14th week, there's a way that we can try to fix that. Just remember that. Cool? Questions? Okay. So the Promise program has services. We pay for your tuition, but we don't stop you from joining other programs. We want you in other programs. We want you to be part of the honors program. We want you to play sports, right? I'm big on college athletes playing sports. Both of my sons did that, and that kept them straight. They were afraid of their coaches more than me. We have STEM programs, right? We have STEM programs. We have a DSS. Remember, DSS is the equivalent of your IQ at high school, but we offer more services. We have transfer center that you have to, the first semester there, go make a friend with somebody in the transfer center, especially if you're thinking about transfer. So we have more. And we have way more beyond that. We want you to be in the Promise program and something else. Promise program is money, some services, but it's also an academic side of the house, right? We want you to be active in the academic side of the house. Yes, ma'am.
Is there a specific form or application to apply to the EOPS?
There's a form for every program. We like our forms a lot,
I know.
a lot. It's called job security, right? We can-
Right.
Yeah. So yes, and the OPS will be at almost every event that children will do in the summer.
Okay, so if we go in the summer.
And they'll come here, right? They don't just come to Buena Park, right? No, the OPS.
5년인가 6년까지밖에 안
What if
나와요.
we're not from Buena Park? We're from.
Or Buena Park, or if you contact the person in the flyer that is tailored to your school, it's a picture of the
Maximum.
bottom left.
Yeah.
That person can help you with that,
Okay,
or your child.
thank you.
Cool. All right. So how do you join? That's where that handout comes out. Don't even take a picture of this. That handout walks you through everything you need to do. And there's a QR code at the bottom that takes you directly to the website, to the form that will help you do that. Apply to Fullerton College, obviously, right? And pick summer, just to be safe. And if you don't go to summer school, it will roll over to fall. Do the online orientation. And matter of fact, this afternoon we were redoing the video, so you'll get a brand new video. Meet with a counselor. That's step. Step 4. You need to meet with a counselor. However, you'll have many ways of meeting with a counselor. Click on that QR code, and you'll see the many ways. 1, we're bringing 10 counselors to Buena Park. You remember the day when we're bringing the counselors to Buena Park? This is the day. This is the day somewhere. And we're bringing counselors to almost all our main feeders. And most of you come from us.
카운셀러는 어떻게 만나요?
Usually it says on. Oh, battery. All right, I can yell. Okay, so one way is we'll bring counselors to your school. One way. The other option is that we will have counselors available every Tuesday and Wednesday, right? Tuesday and Wednesday from 4 to 6 online. So you can do it you can see a counselor from home. Okay? From home. Another way is that we will bus students from your schools, and everybody in the whole school district will bus around 100 students once a week to our campus, and we'll have 10 counselors at Fullerton College. That's one way. And then another way, right? Another way is that we will be available on campus, Fullerton College, on Saturdays, specific Saturdays, and then on Wednesdays in June. So we value the giving parents and students different options. Like I said, I'm very sensitive to people that do stuff after school. So I know that a lot of us encourage that in our kids. So we have to provide opportunities for them to see a counselor during school, on Saturdays, online. So we have like seven or 8 dates for everything I mentioned in which you can come and see a counselor. So you won't be able to see a counselor. Worst case scenario, you make an appointment directly with somebody at Fullerton College and you go to the counseling center. So you have many options of how to do this. So you will be able to see a counselor. My recommendation is that you see a counselor before your child graduates or you, the student, graduate. Okay? Because you cannot do the promise agreement, the last step. Then we have an agreement that we ask you to sign, which is basically, I understand if I don't do this, I will be dropped. That agreement can only be signed if you complete the steps that I mentioned. Okay? The one thing I do want to take a few minutes to talk about is financial aid. If you want to qualify for the Promise Program, you have to apply for financial aid. Be mindful, I'm not saying you have to qualify. I'm not saying you have to qualify, but you have to apply. 2 different things, right? If you apply and you qualify, now you have not only a situation cover, you may be eligible for a little stipend above them. If you apply and don't qualify, we will still pay for your tuition. So you're saying, well, why do you make us do that step if I know I'm not going to apply? That's because the state tells us that we have to try to make as many parents or families go through the financial aid form first. And if we can prove that that family is not eligible for financial aid, now we can use the special pot of money. That's what it's all about. So apply, and if you don't qualify, no big deal. Now, your son or daughter, or you can do it. Now we're going to this little pot of money to use that. So it's a step that we have to show. Okay? So do the financial application. Maybe you haven't been done it yet. Just go and do it. Complete it. And as long as you show that you completed it. 2 years. If you qualify, even better. If you qualify, the one thing that I will caution you about is the Cal Grant, right? You only have so many years. Well, I'm not, if you qualify for the promise, I'm not telling you what to do, but I would not use the first year of Cal Grant. I will not use that until I get to the second year. In case I need to use it at the Cal State or the UC or the private school. Okay? Because it gives you more of a lifeline there. But if you use it at Fullerton College, which really is not what is free, and we have so many classes now that the books are free, you may not even need it for books. When you get to the Cal State UCs or privates, you may not have the last year that you need. So be mindful of that. You make your own decisions, but I know that that's something I like to be very careful with.
So if you do that, and you got something, then you just don't do anything.
You defer 1 year. You defer it. Yeah. You may qualify for the Pell Grant, which I'm talking if I know about financial aid and I really don't know, I know the basic. Pell Grant is federal, right? Cal Grant is state. Pell Grant has more of a lifeline. Cal Grant has a limited lifeline. So the sooner you start using the Cal Grant, the less of a lifeline you have. You have like less years. So I caution parents when they come in, if they're going for their kids to transfer, don't use Cal Grant your first year. Because we have that. That's what the promise program is all about. That make sense? Yeah. Okay. All right. We talked about 12 units or more.
I'm sorry, I couldn't really hear you. Can you repeat that?
So Pell Grant is federal money.
That's a financial aid?
Financial aid.
Okay.
That allows you to give for more than 4 years.
Right.
Cal Grant only has a lifeline of 5 years, I believe. It's 5 years, right? Yeah, 5 years.
Okay.
But most college students nowadays are taking more than 5 years. Believe it or not. And if you use 1 year at a community college, now you have less years to use at the 4-year school.
Okay. And so you just don't apply for that, or
So you should apply, but if you qualify for it, you should gotta kind of figure out what's in your best interest.
Can you opt out? Of
Yes, and that's what we're talking about is you opt out, yes, of Cal Grant.
Cal Grant. Okay.
Believe me, you'll hear that many times again.
So the Pell Grant doesn't matter?
The what?
Pell Grant?
No, the Pell Grant has a longer lifeline, yes.
Because it's just
Yeah.
I think there's a limit of
6 years.
money, like
Yeah.
twice. Yeah.
Well, unless you go to Chapman, it should be okay. Chapman is like 55 right now. All right, I'm almost there to answer your question. I didn't forget about your question. So what you see in front of you
칼그란트 같은
are
경우는
the steps I
커뮤니티
talked
칼
about.
하지 말라고.
The only thing I have not talked about is step 5 and 6. May
칼그란트로 칼그란트 공부를 하지 말고.
Then first, we have a family night at Fullerton College.
나중에 신청할 수도 있어요.
We encourage you to come in,
인컴 미팅.
and because we have every single program and service that we offer in the quad, in the kind of our big patio area, which you can talk to. We have all academic programs, kind of an open house / celebration of your children or you student coming to Fullerton College. We have a little presentation to make sure that you're on the right path. So we encourage that. We get around 2,000 participants coming, and it's getting bigger every year. When I first started this program, this family night, 15 years ago, if we got 150, we were very happy. Now we're up to 2,000. So it's a very nice event, and with that, gives us more money, we can do bigger and better stuff. So come to the family night. Whoa, family night. Support night. The START program is very important. The START program is 1 day in the first and second week of July. That is the day in which we will help your kids register for classes. You can do it on your own. That's a business investment. But if you come on the start date, we'll give you a campus tour. We'll talk about programs and services. We'll talk about financial aid more. And family night, we'll talk about financial aid even more. We will also have instructors who will do workshops on what they expect in the classroom. We actually have a workshop on the difference between a classroom, a high school classroom, and a college classroom. Right? As you most learning in college, as some of us know, happens outside, and high school happens inside. And so we talk about the instructors themselves. We got a panel of instructors who will talk about that. We help your child get an ID that same day. But the most important thing is that we will help them register for classes. We have like 6 computer labs, and every computer lab has 1 or 2 counselors there in case they have something comes up on their record, in case they get blocked from a class. So it's that we get around 350 students per session. We have a total, how many you guys would think? Like 8 sessions? 8 sessions? So come in. You can only sign up for that once you've done all the steps. Because the system kind of blocks you if you haven't done it. So the sooner you matriculate, the earlier the day that you can pay for the START program. When we started the START program, we used to call it Summer Academy, Summer Orientation, but now we call it START.
Stand by for us.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is the worst year for financial aid, right?
So how do you?
The system will know that you have applied. Yeah. You may not have completed it, but you have applied. By the way, this is the worst year for financial aid. Most of us that work in education, when it comes to financial aid, this is the worst. That's what we think our numbers at a community college are going to go up. Because students are not going to be notified if they got, well, they'll be notified if they got accepted to a 4-year school at normal time, but they're not going to know about the financial aid packet until June. And they're projected even maybe July. And by then, it's harder, right? So we think we're going to get more students at a community college system because of that. Because a lot of students will be June, they know they got accepted, but they don't know what their financial aid packet looks like. So I think that we're getting ready for more students. So we have the capacity because we actually, our enrollment has declined a lot.
For summer school, do you still recommend they do the START program for the fall?
I do. Not so much because by then they're going to know how to register for classes, right? But it's the other stuff. The actually talking to the instructors, talking to the students, the campus tour, the ID, making friends, which we don't talk about enough, right? It's a social aspect to this, right? That if you develop a good support system, peer pressure, good peer pressure would be beneficial. So all that stuff that somebody talked about, Cool.
What's the parking like?
Parking, since we are, we're still seeing the effects of COVID, not the illness part of COVID, but the other aspects of it. Last year we were 50-50. 50% classes online and 50% in person. Now this semester we're 60-40. 60 on campus, 40 online. So at best next year, will be 70-30. So we still have parking. Okay. So you wonder, well, how do I know what my kid has done? Right? How do I know? I know he's done a lot, or she has done a lot. How do I know what they've done and what they're missing? If you can scan this, I'm not sure if you can see it from your spot, but before you go, I'll come back to this. And I should remember to do it. This will take you to a website, right? And if you have your student ID number, you can get in. And that website will have it like this. This is exactly what you see. What is in green is completed. What's in red is not. And it gives you a link that takes you to whatever you need to do. So we created this 3 years ago, guys. We created this like 5 years ago, right? 5 years ago. And we were able to push. And they finally created a page that allows us to do this. So this, if you don't, as a parent, I'm not sure if you're like me, the conversation with the kids is down to maybe 1 or 2 words. Yeah, right? So, but yeah, I work in education, my wife works in education, right? But if you want to know what they've done, here to scan that and show you.
Just the student ID.
That's all you need.
You're talking about Fullerton College.
Yes, Fullerton College ID.
After you sign up
For step number 1. Which kind of reminds me, when you apply, don't use your high school email. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many people use their high school email and they graduate May 20 something, and then a couple days after that it gets turned off. And they start getting emails from us. So make sure you use your own personal email. You'd be surprised how much that cool? All right. Family night, again, that's a flyer for family night. We have other events. April 16th, we have a family academy. We started doing workshops in the early semester, in the early year, September. We started every month. We had a topic. The next one we can attend to is on Zoom. Somebody in our office had the idea of saying, why don't we have a family academy? I said, let's go with it, let's try it. And it's been very successful. And the last one, the one you can still take advantage of us, is April 16th. We're going to get most of our programs and services coming in to a student conversation and telling you about the programs and services. And this is kind of a different way in which you can register or you can see a counselor. There's many ways. If you want to get our newsletter, scan this and sign up, and you get our newsletter for April, May, and June. Just sign up. We send you a lot of good information about deadlines, processes, and stuff like that. This is for you to know that. I'll be up for a second. A couple people in our office get together every month, right? We send it out. Yeah. All right. Okay, ready? This is for you. Only you, nobody else. All right. We talked about the transfer formula. To transfer, we need 60 units. If you want to transfer, and then we're going to ask the counseling department here at Buena Park and Sunny Hills. Actually, almost every department every school has this now. To put this in their website, in case you missed something, okay? Kind of is our practice. To transfer to a 4-year school, you need 60 units. How do we get to 60? Right? What's the maximum we can transfer with? 70. No less than 60, no more than 70. If you transfer with less than 60, 59 or less, they will look at your high school transcripts. And they will determine based on your high school transcripts if they accept you. But if they have 60 or more, up to 70, they will ignore your high school transcripts. You will ignore your high school transcripts. Right? So how do we get to 60? We
we gotta do two things, right? We gotta do general education and major. So when you said that you made your comment earlier, you are halfway there. Yes, you're gonna do your general education. And it will be approximately 40 units. But general education is not like A through G. General education is based on where you're gonna transfer to. There's a pattern if you want to transfer to Cal State Fullerton or any Cal State. They have their own pattern, their own GE form. There's another pattern for UCs called I get C. I get and the letter C. I get C. Don't ask me what it stands for because you really don't know. if you don't know where you're gonna go, you follow I get C. Because I get C is accepted by Cal States and UCs. Only follow the Cal State pattern if you know you have to go to Cal State. You have to go to Cal State. I had to go to Cal State for this, right? I worked at Albertson, went there to take college in Bahamas. I'm actually retired from the grocery business, things you can. So I had to follow the Cal State system. But if you're not sure, follow Getty. In a year or two, there'll be a new pattern called Cal Getty. And that pattern will be the only pattern for all universities in the state of California, Cal States and UCs. It's going to be called Cal Getty. But you are starting in fall. So your rights, your catalog rights, or the pattern that you will be following is either Cal State or I get it. When a new pattern kicks in, it will not apply to you. It's called Cal Gets It. They're still trying to clean it up and negotiate all that stuff. So if say you follow I get it, I get it will be 40 units. So what do you do with the other 20? Right? Ideally, you do your major. And the combination of your major and general education should give you 60. If it doesn't give you 60, not all majors offer 60. Some majors only offer 10. Because that's all they will take. You will make it up with electives. So for those of you who are concerned that you don't have a major yet, don't worry. You still have to do how many units? 40. 40 is like a year and a half. Does it help to have a major? Yes, right? Because we want to find your major classes where? Within your general education. That way you kill two birds with one stone. Right? That way you save time, and that way you got more room for electives. You still need 60. I was working with a student a couple years ago that we were able to meet his major requirements and GE requirements with 41 units. And he got mad at me. You're shorting me 19 units. I said, no, we double counted so much, which is what we want. We want to double count. Now you do 19 units of PE. Get all A's. And your GPA goes up. Because that person had already met all. So the ideal is to know what your major is. That way you can double count. That's the secret to educational planning. Double count. No big deal. If you don't have a major, you still have a year and a half of work to do. Questions? Let's start with you. Do we get it? Cool, all right. Any other questions about it? This is kind of educational planning 101. In a community college, your counselor is not based by your last name, right? Your counselor is based by your major. So when you go and say, I'm a sociology major, they will give you an option of counselors who are sociology and specialists. But you're not going to hit it off with all your counselors. The beautiful thing about community college is if you come to see a counselor and you don't like him or her, you can ask for another one. You can switch right away. Just like instructors, right? Some of them, they'll be a perfect match. Some of them, you wonder why this one is. Right? Same thing with counselors. But you shop around until you find the person that you balance each other out. Right? Questions about this? I'm nervous, 7 o'clock Tuesday. Anything else? Questions? Okay. This is one of the best kept secrets in higher education, it really is. You know how we have dual enrollment, where you kids can take college classes while they're in high school for free? This is the same thing for Cal States and UCs. So while your kid is at any community college, and they're taking 6 or more units, they can take one class at any counseling in any UC for 24? 26? They go up? Is it 24? No, $10 is you pay that one-time fee for the application. I think it's still 24, $26 a class. It's not a unit. So if you can take a 5-unit class at Cal State Fullerton while you are at Fullerton College for $24 or $26. Isn't that a great deal? That's a great deal. You can take any class. But remember, if you do this program, are you going to take classes we offer at Fullerton College? No, because the savings is not going to be that great. You want to take classes that are part of your major, and we don't offer at Fullerton College. And if you don't have a major, every college student in a college student system has to do 9 units of upper division GE. What is upper division GE? Upper division GE is a class that has the number 300 or higher. Oh, you should have, they used to be numbers. Yeah, right here. Right here. 300 or higher. Every student that graduates from Cal State or UC has to do 9 units of upper division GE. Get it done with your Fullerton College for $24 a class. You can go to any Cal State, any UC. Obviously, because of distance, people go to Cal State Fullerton the most common. I have students that have gone to UCI and done this. It's a one-page form. A one-page form. It's not the whole application. One page. Half of the page, first page, is your information. And we at Fullerton College put a seal in there. Yes, these students taking 6 or more. The bottom portion is that the instructor of that class needs to sign and let you in. And you're saying, that's the class. I have to petition that class. Yes. But if your petition classes 300 or higher, is the demand as high? No. The demand is for 100, 200, right? Those that we offer at $40. 300, the demand is not as much as it is. So they don't fund it. So please take advantage of this. It's good. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do it the first semester because it is too much. But definitely your second semester, third semester, fourth semester, it's a great deal. The books are not free like it is in your enrollment. But if you find a class, a lot of classes have a symbol, a dollar symbol now, or money symbol. That means that class doesn't require a book. Everything is online. And that's very common. We use a dollar symbol. Some high colleges use something else. But there's that number of classes that are free. No, not free. Booklets are growing and growing.
Is that only during the traditional year or is it summer?
I don't think it's summer. Yeah, but have I seen it happen in summer? But my official answer is no. But I've seen it happen in summer.
Even if they're not going to summer
The summer school,
school, do they have to be enrolled
no.
at Fullerton College?
Yeah.
But they can still.
Yeah, I've seen it. But remember, if you get stopped, that's their official answer. Yeah. I had a student that really did a lot. Yeah. They do enrollment in high school, came to us, did this, graduated in 3 years, and paid maybe 1/3 of what they were paid. Okay, question about, let's go cross enrollment. Well kept secret. When I teach, I talk about that in the first day of class. The number of questions that we talk about this pretty much for the entire class. As far as I know, it's been around for at least 30 years. At least. Yeah. I went to Fullerton College, was there, and I went to Fullerton College.
성수를 원래 좀 아까 그 프라미스 프로그램 있잖아요.
So it has nothing to do
그거는
with it,
보통
but I think it's so
레귤러
valuable.
세미스터인데
that we take advantage of
성수school
this.
같은 경우는
Yeah.
한 과목이 몇 점이야?
Question.
12연이시라고 그러는데 몇 과목을 정해져
I did talk a lot about Cal State's UCs, right? Because it's the most common. But there's a lot of private schools that offer some great deals, guys. Offer some great options that you should consider exploring. I know that Chapman University, we do every year I put together a male conference. And we get 1,000 young men come into the male conference. And we have it at Fullerton College and Chapman. And they have so much money to give out for transfer students. I would say the majority of transfer students, the tuition will be cut in half if they're from local high schools. There's a radius that they have money for. So look into private schools. It's a good deal. I know I talk a lot about Cal State CBC, but private schools, for many of you, is finding a good match, the right match, depending on you.
알겠지만
Okay, we got 5 minutes.
일시도 받고
Questions?
그러니까 이게 미니멈이야.
You know what we're going up? My wife, we want to go to the packing house. Anybody been to the packing house? Good, huh? Good. They're not expensive. They're not expensive. Parking is a little bad. But, huh? I know, but I'm guilty of Catholics. I'm guilty about everything, so I don't like to know.
밴드요?
You know what I mean? Yes.
Can I assume most of the students are like 20-ish, or is it?
The average age is 22.5.
44?
That's we're open campus, right? So we take anybody. Yes, 22.5.
45까지
Yes, ma'am.
나이? 나는 끝난다.
그렇게 들었는데
Step 6. Yeah, the START program is a summer program. The first 2 weeks of July. That's the one that you come to us will help your son register for class in front of counselors who will give you a campus tour.
카운슬러를 꼭 만나봐야 돼. 그러면서
And we'll help you with the ID. What has to program the services. If I forget to mention, they give free lunch. We have a good cafeteria, by the way. Our community college is one is
과목을 알맞게 정해줘야 될 거 아니야 항상.
what? 2 first, yeah. Right after 4th of July. Right after. I think 4th of July this year is Wednesday or Tuesday, I think. And the first session is Thursday.
부터 하려면 과목을 어떻게 정해야 되는지
Go ahead. Maybe the following week. Yes, ma'am. You can't be leaving and asking me questions. Okay. You feel like I did a good job?
Yes.
All right.
So if we go May 1st, will they tell us the date for the start program?
Yes, by May 1st we will have it. For sure. If not sooner.
Okay.
You know the picture that you've been referring to? Go to that person in 2 weeks, don't have it in 2 weeks. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Scan the QR code, it may be activated already. Look at the bottom, it may be activated already. It's activated already? See, we have great staff. Perfect. So we have a start program. In which you go 1 day only, not 2 weeks, 1 day only for 4 hours. During that day, we help you with your son and daughter register for classes. And instructors do their morning show and stuff like that. 1 day. Yes, 1 day. But the earlier you go, the sooner you register.
6월 가면 더 좋은 거지?
여기도 가야지.
Thank you. Are we cool? Thank you for coming, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.
됐어?